very special guest coming to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. You all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned, stay engaged, stay with us. This is absolutely going to be an episode on fire. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned, stay with us, and make sure you bring your time, bring your engagement, and really be direct with this guest. This is a very, very special guest of mine and a friend of mine, and we are growing together. Ready? Here we go. Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the #1 podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have Mr. Demond Coleman, a highly successful businessman who has dedicated his life creating products and services to assist women with living a healthier lifestyle. He is launching a state-of-the-art new feminine product line entitled Essentials. Formerly an inmate at Leavenworth Prison, Mr. Coleman served a considerable amount of time where he developed multiple ideas to improve the lives of women closest to him, his mother, wife, and sister. Mr. Coleman's former company was entitled Inspire Network, which introduced a new brand to his ventures called Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkins. Wow. An all-natural 100% cotton feminine brand. In May 2017, Mr. Coleman launched Cherish as a global director of sales. Mr. Coleman helped generate $1.6 million in sales the first 30 days and $5.6 million in the first year that Cherish was in operation. Mr. Coleman is joining us on Gentleman Style Podcast stage. Please help me welcome, please help me cheer on Mr. Coleman.
Wow. Wow, Marcus. Now, you know what? You about to have a whole nother career, brother, because you're going to have to introduce me everywhere I go, brother. Thank you so much for that great introduction. Truly honored to be on the podcast today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We are glad and excited to have you, brother. This is incredible. Y'all give Mr. Coleman another round of applause. Another round of applause. He's a special guy. Powerful. Absolutely, Mr. Coleman. So thank you. Diving right into the questions. What motivates you and gets you excited in the mornings?
Wow. My goals, man. The life that I've saw myself living from the time I was a child. I grew up in extreme poverty, but in my mind, I knew I was rich. And so, being rich for me is all about having choices, having the freedom and the flexibility, not only to help myself, but to help others who are in need, starting with my household first and then out into the community. And so, when I look at my children and the type of lifestyle that I desire for them to have, the things that I still desire to do for my mom and my dad and the community, they drive me, and I still have a huge appetite for the finer things in life myself. And so it's the ambition of wanting to create that life I've always dreamed of for me, but also the people who are around me. That's what drives me.
Powerful right there. Mr. Coleman, what is one habit or one routine that you do daily that you would say has added to your success today?
Wow. Great question, Marcus. Man, I listen to personal development every day, brother. I've absolutely fallen in love with it. Personal development, basically consists of books, audios, of information that you personally decide to listen to. Nobody forces you to listen to it, but you listen to it because it expands your mind. It's all about leadership. It's all about personal growth, looking inwardly to get the best outwardly, from yourself. And I know because of my background and where I come from, there's a lot of mindset that had to be changed, man, for me to become and to continue to become the man I desire to be. And so I listen to personal development, from 20 to 30 minutes a day. I get in the shower. Right now I'm listening to Bob Proctor, The Law of Vibration. It's the number one subject that I'm studying because it's all about energy and being on the right frequency to attract the people that you need in order to succeed. And so I get in the shower, I turn Bob on, I turn them up really, really loud. By the time I wash up, get out, put my moisturizer on, brush my teeth, man, I've got a good 20 to 25 minutes of pouring into myself. And when it's really, really good, while I'm putting my clothes on, the whole nine, I keep listening to it, depending on my schedule, because sometimes I listen to personal development, even an hour a day, but it's personal development that has helped me really look at myself to take more responsibility over my life and the outcome and everything. Stop, having a victim mentality, the old black man in America mentality, and really accept the fact that the mind is the master power that molds and makes, not the white man, not your mom, not your experience from being molested as a child abused or abandoned by your mama, your daddy, or your high school education or the lack thereof, your credit. None of these things make you. None of them. It's your mind. And so I make sure every day that I'm focused on building this so I can change the subconscious, thus changing the outcome of everything that I decide to do.
That's huge. That's major. That's major, y'all. And so, Mr. Coleman, tell us, you have started many different companies. You've been in ventures that are just numerous. So you are a definition. If there was a textbook definition of entrepreneur, you are it, brother. Tell us, what is the company Cherish, and what is the problem that Cherish helps solve?
So Cherish is the original company that I started. It's an all-natural feminine hygiene product, basically a sanitary napkin. And so Cherish is a healthier alternative for women who have been using products that are filled with chlorine, dioxin, furans, made out of synthetic materials. So you have a product that pretty much dominates the market that does not do what it's really designed to do. And that is to keep our women comfortable and dry. Not only do most of these products not keep our women comfortable and dry, but they're health hazards because of the chlorine that they use to bleach these products and the manufacturing practices. And so when I was in Asia, back in 2016, a good friend of mine by the name of Joel introduced me to this concept after he'd been doing his due diligence and working on it for a year. When I saw the demonstration of one sanitary napkin being completely soiled and wet and the other one being completely dry, and then finding out some of the health challenges the women are having, in this area, I lost it. I really saw my future. Two things happened. I saw a product that could help not only my mom, my daughters, my sisters, and the women in my life that I love and care about, but millions into billions of women all over the world. And with this and helping so many people, I knew I could become 100 millionaire to a billionaire. And the reason why, because when you can solve a problem, you could get rich beyond your wildest measure and beyond your wildest imagination. And when you can solve a problem that is one mandatory that needs to be solved 365 days out of the year by every woman who will reach the age of 9 to 10 years old up to 50 plus, I said, oh no, this is a game changer. And so, part of it was, loving and caring about the women in my life and being a humanitarian. The other side of it was, wow, there's no more of a residual product on a planet other than toilet paper and water. And so, I've been my whole life, remind me of Nipsey Hussle, all my life, grinding all my life, sacrifice, gotta pay the price. Like I've been doing all of that. I've been hustling all my life. I've been making sacrifices and paying the price all my life for cash. But what I found out is that cash flow is king. You can make all the money you want today, but when you get started on that lifestyle, keeping it is going to be the challenge that most people have. This is why you have a lot of athletes, who are multimillionaires that become broke. People that win the lottery, get all this money, and they end up broke because after you get a taste of all this finer living, if you don't have a way to continue to grow that income and multiply it, then you're doomed. And so I'm like, finally, here's a product that I can launch, help a lot of people, and continue to get paid for decades to come.
That's major. and that's huge, right? And I want you all, I don't want you all to miss this, right? You all, what he started with, the passion, the drive, the motivation, it didn't come from money. It came from his family, the people closest to him, the women closest to him. That's the heart. That's the heart of that many businesses are missing, right? He was inspired and he was motivated to create something better, a more superior product, because his mom, his sister, and his wife,
and daughter,
and daughter. The demand was his inspiration came from the people closest to him. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. You guys stay tuned, stay engaged. We have the incredible Mr. Coleman coming right back. Don't go away. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, well, some, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have the incredible, amazing Mr. Demond Coleman, and he is leading the charge and leading the way and absolutely changing the game. Mr. Demond is showing us how to do better business, and he just broke it down earlier in the episode. If you missed it, tune back in, check back in, and subscribe and tune into what you just missed. And he is changing the way through feminine hygiene products for women, because he was passionate for changing the game for our women and getting back to better business. Mr. Demond, you, without saying, you survived as an entrepreneur. You survived troubles, obstacles, hurdles that you had to overcome, mountains that you had to overcome. How did you survive Leavenworth? How did you make it through?
Well, first of all, by the grace of God, man, my mom is a prayer warrior. My mom is the only woman on my mom's side of the family that didn't succumb to cocaine abuse, alcohol abuse, and everything. You know, she has had her own challenges, but those are the 2 biggest that tore my family apart. And while that was happening, my mom started taking me to church at a young age, man, and I embraced Christianity, like with everything, even as a young kid. I fell in love with the stories of the Bible. That's why I became a believer. It wasn't because of anything other than that. And when I looked at the stories of people like David and Saul and Solomon and, you know, some of these greats, man, who are just wretched, filthy animals, you know, and God used these guys, man, to impact world change, man. Like David was a monster at one point, man, and he's the bloodline that Jesus come from. And so, you know, my hope has always been that, you know, I wasn't here because I deserved to be, but because I was chosen to be, man, that I have a birthright, you know. And so my faith in God and in myself has helped me tremendously over the years, because I'm going this deep, Marcus, because, man, I was a gangbanger. I was in 2 gangs, you know, from the age of 12 up until I was about 20 years old, you know, and I sold dope. I started selling dope at the age of 15 years old. And I did up until I was 28 years old. And so the type of people that I was around, the neighborhoods that I was in, the weight that I was moving, 99% of the time without a gun. I wasn't the guy that was really looking to hurt anybody, but I was carrying amount of weight on a daily basis that somebody could have took my life, man. And so that's why I give God the honor and the glory that he's worthy of, because even selling dope, man, I was praying, Lord, please protect me, And so, but outside of that, man, I got to contribute just my mom, man, just seeing her work and hustle hard, seeing my dad get over, drug abuse and becoming an astute, respectable entrepreneur, having examples. A guy named John was the first guy that I met that went from selling drugs to having a legitimate business and doing very well for him and his family. And so I had some great examples, man. And I always had the mentality that if you can do it, if they can do it, man, I can do it. Especially if we grew up in the same neighborhood, or you look like me, walk like me, talk like me, like just show me the blueprint and I'm going for it. So, it really came out of a place of lack, my ambition growing up, not able to get the Jordans, but, my friends, some of them get Jordans. I get Pro Kids, you know what I'm saying? Like the no name. And then mom, like, look, I got $30, boy, on some shoes. You like, $30, like, man, where are we going? Like, you can only wear you only wear Chuck so long, so I started doing different things, man, cutting grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow to keep up, because even at a young age I wanted to be fresh. And then by junior high I'm selling candy because my friends are already selling drugs and buying cars, so I'm trying to keep up with them. By the age of 15, man, I became a real good barber, and I used to cut guys' hair in the basement, of course, but by then I'm selling weed. So, you come get a cut, get you a sack, and you're on your way. And I did this all throughout high school, man, except for my junior year in high school. I got a job at a professional barbershop cutting hair with no license. I would just go after school, work from like 4 to 10 o'clock at night and all day on Saturdays. And by the time I graduated from high school, man, I was cutting hair and selling dope for a time. Like that was my career.
Hustler, y'all. A true hustler beyond the word. I told y'all he's the definition of entrepreneur, making it happen, making a way, and making money. And that's powerful. What would you say to the young man in the audience, or the young entrepreneur, the young hustler in the audience? What advice would you give him to do things differently? Any words of encouragement, any inspiration?
Absolutely. Don't be a victim. That's number one. You're not a victim. And what I'm about to say is going to sound insensitive, but trust me, I'm living what I'm training. So I feel good about saying this. It doesn't matter if you're uneducated. It doesn't matter if you were abused, if you never known your father. It doesn't matter if you never known your mother. It doesn't matter if you lost everything. No, man. No one, man. The only thing that matters is that you believe you could do better than what you're doing today. That's what matters. And that you're willing to start working from the inside out in order to make it happen. Listen, this personal development I'm talking about, guys, you can play with me if you want to, but you're going to stay right where you are. And that's a fact. Okay. The only place you can go is where your mind takes you. And you have the ability to take your mind where you want it to go. So I read books like, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Agreement number 2, don't take anything personal. Your mama did the best she could with you. Your dad did the best they could with you. And if they didn't do nothing with you, that was the best they could. Everything that has happened to you was actually happening for you. It's all about perspective. And so when you eliminate the victim mentality, like I sold dope for years, justifying the white man, it's the white man's world, and they bring it in the country, and all of this, and dot to dot. And as long as I go down that path, they got a nice little 12 by 12 waiting for me. Okay. I could never win at that game. It is designed for us Black men in particularly to lose. You can't win on your best day. because they will even use your brother against you in that environment. And so I had to make up my mind that either I was going to limit myself to being a street hustler, or I was going to expand my mind and become an astute businessman by taking that same hustle mentality, which is work ethic, which is discernment, which is instinctive. All these skills that you acquire in them streets, you can apply it to the real world of business. As a matter of fact, the real world of business is waiting for you. They are looking for you. You're a true innovator. You're a true visionary. And you got the balls, excuse my language, to go out there and make it happen. So no excuses. That's the best advice that I could give to somebody. I've been to prison. I grew up in the jungle. And that's what they call the projects I grew up in. Guys, my daddy was a crackhead. My mama has 8 kids and 4 baby daddies. Okay. And I put myself in a harm's way. Gang banging and all the rest of it, guys, in the pursuit of wanting to have the best that this country has to offer. And on my best day of doing wrong, guys, I could not win. And so, I decided to do some things that I'd never done before, like network marketing, got involved in 2008, promoting a women's undergarment, which I thought like no way I would ever do something like that. And then I had an open mind to go and see a presentation, saw it in action. And I said, wow, this is marketable. Here's a problem. Here's a solution. And guys, I got to over $50,000 a month in income 2 years out of prison with no degree in a whole new city with all new people just by networking. Something I did in the streets for years. Guys, for years. Got a good product, man. I'm putting it out there. If you got the money to buy it, I'm going to sell it to you. Nothing has changed. The only difference in network marketing is, man, if you get involved with the right company at the right time, oh man, you can move mountains. Not only can you fatten your pockets, but you could put other people in a position to fatten theirs as well. And so when I look at all of my experiences, all the heartaches, the pains, the disappointments, man, they prepared me for sales. Sales is the number one highest paid profession in the world. Nobody makes more money than a top-notch salesman. Okay, people don't sell drugs because they think it's cool. They sell drugs because of the results that they get as a means of doing so. And so, when I look at, the industry of network marketing, for somebody that doesn't have a degree, for somebody that maybe been to jail, for somebody that wants to start a new career, but they don't necessarily want to go back to school, you can find a network marketing company that you believe in the product. Okay. And you can get started with that company and your life could change dramatically. Now, most people that do network marketing fail, but most people in life work a job too. That's 95% of the United States population. Most people are struggling week to week, check to check, and 5% of the population controls all the income. Well, same thing in network marketing. You got 100% of folks that's go sign up and about 80% of the people that's go quit. 20% are go do the work and get the results. And if you're the type of person that you don't get going when the going gets tough and you know how to work through challenges and you okay with working with people and different personalities, well, we got something for you over here. And I'm not advocating any particular company. I believe in the entire industry of direct sales and network marketing. This is where I got introduced to personal development, where I really became intentional on working on my mindset, and where I really began to hone the skills of being a top-notch, not only salesperson, but leader in my space.
That's major. That's major. And so you touched on a numerous amount of things. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that wisdom and that insight into who you are and what built you up to the man you are today, the business owner, the mogul that you are today. One of the things that people struggle with in business, and as the expert, I need you to debunk this myth right now. What areas of business, right? You talked about sales, right? Without sales, you got no company. So what areas of business should people focus on more? Should it be putting a bigger budget to sales or marketing, PR, improving systems, or IT or human resources? Which should someone who's getting started or focusing on business focus on the most?
Great question, Marcus. What makes you happy? See, I had it all wrong, man. I thought success was about the amount of money that you can earn. Brother, I know some people who are extremely rich right now, and if I introduce you to them, I would be ashamed. I would be ashamed. Man, their character is horrible. They some of the most miserable people you ever want to meet in your life. So I know for a fact that money does not make you happy. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means as long as you see yourself having progress in the area that you choose, and you're helping people in the process, that is success, a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So the school teacher who is overworked and underpaid, but takes gratitude and gratification and knowing that she's impacting the lives of young boys and girls or grown men and women, oh, he is successful because they're doing what they want to do and they're being successful as a result. When they have kids that grow up and go on and become successful, and they can say, oh, Mrs. Such and Such or Mr. Such and Such, they impacted my life, they inspired me. That teacher, Mr. and Mrs. Such and Such, are extremely successful. The housewife that stays at home to raise her children and does a great job of providing them with great nutritious meals, helping them with homework, getting them to the extracurricular activities to maximize their childhood potential is a very successful woman if she is happy doing that and seeing the fruit of her labor. I got many more examples. Okay. Money is a measure of business, and it is the only way to measure a business. It is the most measurable thing on earth is success, because money numbers don't lie. And so when you look at, getting started in business, what makes you happy? What can you see yourself doing over and over and over again, even if you don't get the monetary gain that you're looking forward to getting? Okay. What can you look forward to? Teachers, I tell you, they get dogged out, but man, they got the best retirements on the planet. If you could just survive that career as a teacher, so you have to be able to know what's in it for you, but you have to have something way beyond the money that's going to allow you to keep going when the going gets tough.
Mr. Demond, that's huge. And so y'all see the level of think on this, gentleman. You see the level. This is top notch, 5,000-foot view. This is what a CEO thinks about day in, day out, to how to better himself and where can he do the most good in his company and what makes him happy. Mr. Demond is living his best life, and it's because he put in the work up front. So, Mr. Coleman, tell us, one of the strategies, can you tell us the strategy behind this? Because you actually sold your shares in the company, in Cherish. What's the strategy here, and why did you do that? And what's the next big play for you? What's the next big move with that?
Well, I'm glad you brought that back around, because I actually did not sell my shares with the company. I acquired all of the shares of the company. So what happened when I had my multi-level marketing company, Inspire Network, guys, I had some failed partnerships, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. And so I sold that company to another MLM, multi-level marketing company. I sold them my database, and I sold them the IP, the intellectual property. But what I did not sell them was my physical product. I gave them an exclusive license for distribution. So I still owned the product, but they had the exclusive rights for distribution. And so I was able to get shares upon the sale of that product. Okay. We call those shares a royalty. So not shares, but I was able to get a royalty. So every time they sold a pack of pads, I got a percentage of that sale. Okay. Now that company hit some financial and legal challenges of their own. And so they stopped paying me, Marcus. And if I would have gave them rights to my product, not only would I lost my royalty, I would have lost my product. And so when they forfeited to pay me my royalty, they breached the contract. I was able to get my exclusive license back of my product as well as my intellectual property. And so I became 100% owner of Cherish. Now, because of the history of being a product and network marketing, because of the failed partnerships, and some people that decided not to operate out of integrity, I decided to scratch the entire brand and start anew. Even though I took it to over $6 million in the first year as not only the co-founder, but the global director of sales, I know that what we did was only confirmation for what's to come. Okay, because I know that this is $100 million vision and brand at minimum. And so now I don't have to look over my shoulder with the new product launch. The only people that are involved from an ownership perspective is myself. My sister is an investor where she has a little bit of equity with the company and everything. But from this point on, man, we're going to be 100% essentials. But I thank God for Cherish. I thank God for those failed partnerships. I thank God for, almost losing my home, losing my mind behind my vision, because it really let me know how much this means to me. But it also taught me $1 billion worth of business lessons.
Wow, Mr. Coleman, that is huge, right? And you see, I told y'all, strategy, business. He is playing chess right now. He's not playing checkers. He's playing chess, and he maneuvered that so well. He maneuvered that whole deal.
That was God.
Forgive me, that was God. That was all God. God had his hand in it to touch this man's life, to make him make the best business decisions for his company, and now 100% owner of his brand, his company. Mr. Coleman, what's next? What do you have in store for us? What's coming down the pipeline?
Wow, great question, Marcus. Well, man, I tell you, my first initial goal with Essentiables is to take it to 10 million in the very first year, launching Essentiables June the 5th. You can find Essentiables on shopessentiables.com. You can go and look at the website now. I'm very proud of it. You cannot order yet, but you can most definitely go and see what's to come. Click on the About page, guys. You can see a quick demonstration of Cherish in terms of what it's all about. And also, beyond launching Essentiables, I just partnered. Oh, wow. Thanks, guys. I just partnered with a technology company out of Dubai, and we develop applications to help you live, learn, and earn. And one of the applications in particular that we launched help you to earn money in the foreign exchange market without any knowledge thereof, simply through copying and pasting in the #1 financial market in the world. We have reviews on Google Play and Apple Play on the Shift app, SHIFT. And so right now I'm working very hard to become the vice president in North America for that company, basically opening up the US market to provide a place of work for millions of families. Because, guys, the truth of the matter is, over the next 10 years, more than half of the job market will be replaced due to artificial intelligence. And if you don't have a skill set, if you're not marketable out here, guys, in terms of having value that these companies see, that they want to hire you, or the value that you can bring to the marketplace where people will want to pay you for your product or service, you're going to be in trouble. And I'm not predicting doom and gloom. I'm predicting preparation. And when I say I believe that technology is the way of the future and that the foreign exchange market is not going anywhere, guys. It's a $7 trillion a day industry. And so to be able to provide a place of work for people to where they can work right from their cell phones, as long as they have Wi-Fi, guys, and all they have to do is copy and paste. They don't have to sell. They don't have to recruit, but they can simply become profitable. That's my next biggest project. I believe in multiple streams of income. And in the next 5 years, I'll be breaking ground on my very first hotel, Marcus. And so those are just a few things in the pipeline and my vision, man, in terms of what I see, while I continue to acquire wealth, but also impacting the lives of others and providing opportunities for them to do the same.
I gotta do a
Oh,
dance.
man.
I gotta do a dance. That's powerful, yo. Yo, y'all see this? This is huge. This is major. Mr. Coleman, tell us, how can people connect with you? How can people get on board? This train is leaving the station. How can people connect with you? How can people grow with you, and be a part of this movement, and connect with you and do what you're doing?
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate the plug. Guys, you can find me on Instagram. That's where I am most of the time in terms of social media. I'm on Facebook, but y'all getting a little too conservative for me on Facebook. I got to get with the program. So I've been mostly on Instagram. But if you want to connect with me, guys, my IG is at Demond Coleman, just like my name is spelled. And you send me a DM. I'll be more than happy to connect with you. I'm actually starting on next Friday. I'm starting back the DC Global IME morning call, and that's going to be, from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And it's a DC Global IME, which stands for Decisions and Commitments. That's what DC stands for. IME stands for Inspiration, Motivation, and Education. And so the objective of DC Global is to help millions of people make decisions and commitments that they're going to change and live their best lives, guys. And the way that we're going to help them do that is through inspiration, motivation, and education, through sharing stories, life experience, not just my own, but I'll be bringing several people to that platform to share, men, women, Black, white, Asian, Spanish, but basically people who have, incredible stories and journeys that, that can inspire other people to know that, hey, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and that you are closer than you ever been as long as you don't quit. And so that's how you can find me. And those are a couple of things that I'm working on, guys. I love to service you, ladies, whether it be through your sanitary napkins. I am liquidating Cherish. And so if you want to get some killer deals on Cherish, send me a DM. Guys, I'll sell you some product that is absolutely amazing, that is life-changing. But just know Essentiables will be here in June.
Huge. Y'all give him another round of applause, Mr. Demond Coleman here, giving back to the company, giving back to the Gentleman Style Podcast platform. Give him another one. That's huge. That's
Hey, Mark, can I say this? I would be remiss if I didn't share, guys, somebody that I listen to every single day. This man has absolutely changed my life. Man, I cannot wait to meet him. Hopefully that time that comes soon, because I think he's almost 90 years old. But his name is Bob Proctor. And if you go on YouTube, subscribe to his channel. He has an audio in particular that I'm studying now called The Law of Vibration. The law of vibration is the foundational law of the law of attraction. You can't attract anything unless you're on the right frequency. And the law of vibration is all about energy. Okay, you're only going to attract who you are in the level that you think on. And this is, guys, this is phenomenal. This is going to be, some reminders for some of you who already know these principles. But for some of you, it's going to open up an area and space in your life that you have never, ever, guys, I don't want to oversell it, but I think if you go and you listen, you will start to see exactly why I listen to this every single day. Back to you, Marcus.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that plug. That's a huge. I never knew that. I never even thought about that. I never even knew that the law of attraction is linked to the law of vibration. So I'm definitely going to check that out. That's one of the benefits of having a show like this. I can go back and pick and learn because it's my show. So thank you for that. That's huge. That is major. Thank you, Mr. Thank you for coming to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage and giving back. And I want to thank my audience for tuning in today. Thank you for supporting this channel. I hope this message has served you. I hope this has educated you and taught you something and showed you how to get to a better life with incredible men like Mr. Coleman. He's leading the way. He's taking charge, and he's creating his own path, right? He didn't just stick with the norm. He didn't do the 9 to 5. He created his own way, and you can too. And so he's an inspiration to us to take charge of our lives. So thank you, Mr. Coleman. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And like I always end every show, my audience, thank you all for tuning in. Take care of your families, take care of your homes, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show and Mr. Demond Coleman leading the way. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.